This episode is sponsored by me and Learn Light and Sound. We have courses on how to improve your lighting and sound, link down below. Now, I want to cover something you might be thinking to yourself, Curtis, that's a horrible microphone position. Why are you doing that? Do you even know what you're doing? That's a fair question. And let me just talk about some things here. My voice has a lot of sibilance. When I say something like, she sells seashells by the seashore, that is a grating sound. Now, what's interesting is it depends on where the microphone is as to how grating that is. Normally, you would think with a large diaphragm condenser microphone like this is a Neumann U87 AI, you would think that you would want the capsule in line with your mouth, somewhere up here. But listen what happens when I do that. Now it's more in line with my mouth. She sells seashells by the seashore. By the seashore, she sells seashells. Now moving it back down, she sells seashells by the seashore. By the seashore, she sells seashells. Makes a difference. You can also put the microphone up higher, like this. Now, in recording studios, you might see a configuration like this, with the microphone suspended from above. Notice my mouth is down below the microphone capsule. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Quite a bit of a difference there. So one thing you can, actually, while we're here, when it's up higher like this, it's also not picking up as much of the chest resonance, so it may be a little less bassy. Let's go ahead and go back to how we were. And here we are back at this position. You may notice a difference here now where it's sounding a little bassier, picking up a little bit more of the chest resonance. So it was easier to know it than to explain why I know it. If you were asked to prove that 2 and 2 made 4, you might find some difficulty, and yet you're quite sure of the fact. Almost forgot my line there. Let's try one other thing. Now, aside from microphone position, when you put things like foam covers on microphones, it actually can change, especially the high frequency content of what the microphone's able to capture. What I mean by that specifically is some of the high frequencies will actually get absorbed by the microphone cover itself. So let's go ahead and put that on and see what that sounds like. Here's reference. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. By the seashore, she sells seashells. By the seashore, she sells seashells. By the seashore, she sells seashells. She sells seashells by the seashore. So if you're having problems with sibilance, this is one thing you can do to kind of tune things a little bit. Now, of course, you can apply a high pass or a de-esser in post-production, but I would start with the microphone position to optimize things. So this is for recording voiceover or maybe podcasts or things like that. If you have a sibilance problem like mine, here are some things you can do. Another thing to consider, a lot of people will go out and they'll end up buying 200 microphones trying to find the one that's perfect for their voice. Maybe try mic position first. Oh, wait, I think I might own 200 microphones, but I'm a microphone reviewer. Sorry, excuse. But yeah, don't necessarily think that you necessarily have to get a new microphone if it doesn't sound perfect on your voice. Try different positions first. You may be able to tune it and get it sounding a little bit better for your particular voice. Hope that was helpful. Get out there and make some great sound. Talk to you again soon.